There are a few times in my life that I can recall that I made the wrong choice. I always ensured I made the best possible choice. But after that night, I've been conflicted ever since. All we were trying to do was take as many civilians as we could to safety within our hardpoint installations. It was a last-ditch effort after all we'd attempted up to that point had failed. And I meant it when I said last-ditch effort. These things were hard nuts to crack, don't get me wrong, but they were hastily made nuts, so they were tough, but they weren't perfect. The concrete wasn't reinforced. But that sounds menial at first listen, right? It's concrete. The infected aren't gonna bust through that. What was worse were the living quarters. The facility was only able to house 1,000 people. That includes the security detail. When everything went to shit, we ended up taking in 1,500 people. It was when we heard the scream, and everything went to shit real quick. At the same time, we heard from our lookouts that the horde was 10 mics out, but was already visible at a distance. I ordered the processing to hurry up and ordered more guards outside, but by this point it was too late. The crowd lost it and pushed past my men. I then heard over the radio to close the exterior doors. I ignored it. I ordered my men let them pass and lead the civilians down to the first security wing. I left my corporal in charge of the exterior doors, then I left for the security wing. When I arrived, I ordered half the men to stay with the civvies and the rest with me. We hooked it back up to the exterior doors. When we returned, it was like a black cloud slowly coming to hover over you. I heard yelling and screams. I turned the corner and saw the people running towards me, but behind them were infected, and they were taking them down like wild dogs. We opened up on them, covered with the civvies, but somebody must have flipped the emergency override, because then I heard the alarm blare and saw the exterior doors begin to close. The last of the people tried to escape the infected and get past the doors. A few of them made it, but as the doors were almost sealed, there were still people still trying to squeeze through. It jammed shut on the bodies of those who, to this day, I still see them reaching out to me. I ordered the rest of my men back with me to the security wing. There were some infected that slipped through right before the doors sealed. We cleaned them up as best we could. When we returned to the first security wing, I rushed my men inside and slammed the steel door behind me. I then radioed our teams on the other floors, and they all checked in. All the access points were sealed, and the civvies were safe. We were safe. It was tough at first, getting the civvies and the men to mesh as best they could. Eventually, we were able to get organized enough to where we recruited those able-bodied to serve on a security detail, and from then on, everything just fell into place. After about 3 years, I had seen holidays and social gatherings that I hadn't seen since before the sky went up in smoke. We managed to clear the exterior doors of the bodies, but before we cleared the doors, we had to break past the barricade. As soon as we did, the smell hit us like a punch to the face. There were bodies everywhere. The floor was littered with them. From what was once the main processing aisle all the way to the exterior doors. We hadn't fully restored the lights in the front yet, so it was dark in there. We finally reached the main doors, and there they were. It had been several years that those bodies were jammed in between the doors. It was like returning to a bad nightmare. I could still see their terrified faces, begging, pleading with me to save them. It's a hell of a way to go. You're some poor bastard stuck with the choice of being chowed on by the infected or crushed to death. It was a mess. The doors were malfunctioning, so I had to effect repairs while also attempting to clear the corpses without getting hurt. We had to take them out piece by piece. The sound of grinding and roaring machinery, coupled with the sounds of bones being broken, stuck with us for a few weeks. We also had to clear the bodies from the bunkers. Afterwards, we cleaned them, then we posted guards in each one. It was surreal, seeing the world again. For the briefest of seconds, you get this sense of relief. But then you're given a stark reminder when you notice all the bodies on the ground. Strewn about outside was every poor bastard that didn't make it. We only took in 1,500 of the thousands of people who were crowded outside, either trying for a spot here or banking on transport to another installation. Anyone that was caught outside was either cut down by the infected or was taken out during the bombing run. It took us a couple weeks before we cleared the rubble and bodies. Once we had, I granted a request from one of my own to scout the surrounding region and report back what they find. They are due back a week from departure, and it's day 5 already. Our lookouts have reported increased sightings from the infected, so I posted more guards outside. Hardpoint Benedict standing strong. Captain Tash signing out. Well, that is part 2. And this would actually be like the first part 2 I've done on my channel for every little story that we do. Every story that I've written and voiced. This will be the first part 2, and it's for the 7 Days to Die inspired story. Hardpoint Benedict. The story of Hardpoint Benedict and the soldiers and civvies that grew together within its walls. And it's also a POI that I've been making in this screw around server of my own. I'm on PC, by the way. No mods, all vanilla. And I'm waiting on A20. And, you know, as I'm sure we all are, I'm just like, I want A20 now. But, so I've just kind of just been messing around. I do have one server that I play on with a few friends. We're getting warmed up for A20. So we're just on, you know, Nav's game, default. You know, we want all the POIs. And I'm also showing a buddy of mine around who just jumped from console to PC and probably never going back. Because, you know, 7 Days to Die on PC, only once. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. This one felt more, how do I put this? More like a return to form. I know we're only like 8 episodes in, but since the first episode, Webbed Forest, it's felt like to me that I lost what the first one had. Because the first one was like really good. I remember people like telling me it's like Musical Pumpkin. That was really good. And they're all, by the way, if you didn't already know, all these stories are all written and originally voiced by me. I mean, I know I probably said that at the beginning of the video, but you know, call me a well-managed computer network because I got redundancy. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it. There'll be more parts coming. I'm not sure how many. Eventually, you know, I guess one will just kind of come up and be like the end. But anyways. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. Thank you for listening all the way to the end and listening to me ramble on. Hope you have a beautiful Sunday, and I hope you're awesome and safe in these very strange and trying times that we currently live in. Yeah. but yeah. This was your good friend, a Musical Pumpkin, watching over your pumpkin patch. Stay safe. Stay awesome. I love you. And good luck, Survivor.